Hi, today's it's Saturday morning here about 4 a.m. It's been about a long time since I've done a video about my experience here in China. I've been here about a week since on this tour. I didn't do any in the last tour, which went from February 4th to February 28th. But got a couple of things to update you on. I've getting a better handle about how to live here in China. It's been an adjustment, but I'm kind of learning my way around, and the place seems a little bit smaller than it did before because I was really lost. But now I know how to get home no matter where I am. I'm using Uber, which has been great because I don't really have to tell the driver where to go. I can input that. Taxis and Uber are still relatively inexpensive compared to what I'm used to. I mean, half hour in a taxi cab in the US is probably like $40, and half hour in the taxi or Uber in China is about 50 RMB, which is about $8. So for me, I'm not feeling the hit as far hard because I'm getting paid the equivalent of US dollars in RMB. And it's been great. I mean, all the drivers have been great, and I've been having a really good experience with taxi cabs and Uber. There's a gym that opened right across the street from where I live. I first went in there, and it's a small gym, but it's right across the street. They're open at 7 a.m. and they close at 10 p.m. So I wish they would be open like right now because that's what I would be doing. But they're not. So I take my time in the morning. I have breakfast. I go over there. I work out, come back, shower, change, go to work. And even I have to wait to go to work because work doesn't really start until 10 o'clock here. But it goes kind of late. My most productive meetings start at 6 p.m. So the day shifts just a little bit. Lunch is very important. Everybody asks, first time they see you is, have you eaten? I think that's the English version of hello. In Chinese, they ask, have you eaten? I have noticed a couple of things that are unique to, well, maybe not unique, but things that I find unusual. The Chinese people here, coughing, spitting, burping, no big deal. Everybody's doing it. It's not a big thing. But if you pick your teeth, they find that disgusting. I'm like, okay. So even picking your teeth isn't really a great thing to do anyway, but that's the one thing that they really find is universally offensive. So if you ever come here and you have to pick your teeth, make sure you find a private place to do it, or cover your mouth when you're doing it. Also, there's been a lot of construction around. I don't know if you saw, but there's a kind of like a strip mall where there's all these little tiny shops all in a row near one of the fencing centers in Puxi. And one day, a bunch of uniformed guys in military fatigues and a bunch of civilian police were there. And when I mean a bunch, I mean there must have been 80 to 100 guys in trucks and stuff, and they just started smashing down all the signs on every single shop on this whole block. And I don't know what was going on, but there were even signs that were welded up there were all taken down and trashed. And they cleaned it up and they took it all away, but all of a sudden all these shops had no signs. On top of that same day, after they got all the signs and stuff taken away, they built an iron fence in front of the entire block with no access to these shops. There's no side gate, there's no gates intermittently, there is no gates at all. So entering these shops now is the guy has to come out to the gate and then you sell over the fence, quite literally. I wasn't sure what was going on or why that was, but there's absolutely no access to it. Turns out I heard that the shops were unlicensed, and instead of shutting down the shops, they just literally sealed them off. and now nobody can have direct access to it. Well, that was about a month ago, maybe. And now the shop owners, being as crafty as they are, put ladders over the fence. So now the customers have to go up and down the ladders, because some of them are restaurants, and they go in there, they climb over, they eat, they climb back out. No big deal. A lot of times we call out to the shop owner, ni hao, and they come in, out, and we tell them what they want or what we want, and they bring it out to us. So they do shop literally over the fence. Maybe that's where the word fencing goods comes from. No pun intended. Also the welding. I see a lot of welding lately in construction and deconstruction. And there are no face shields. These guys look right at what they're welding. Again, it's very common, and I don't know if these are professional welders or guys that are shop owners that got a hold of welding equipment, but they just weld with their face exposed to the whole thing. My job has changed quite a bit, and I gotta say, some of it's not so good, and most of it's though for the better. I'm going to start focusing more on recruiting international coaches, which I have a couple of really good leads on. Brought 2 in already, going to get hopefully 2 or 3 more. We'll see how it goes. And still trying to get into international school programs to have fencing, but that's a brick wall right now. And I'm going to start teaching fencing again to kids, which actually I'm kind of excited about. It's been a while, and I want to get more involved with the program, get to know the coaches more, get to know some of the kids more, and get more personally involved. But my most satisfying accomplishment so far is that I have convinced the staff here to have an open bouting fencing session. Here, they only have private lessons and group classes. There is no open bouting sessions at all. So I've noticed that when we go into competitions, they fence okay, but they don't fight. They don't fight the win to get the close touches. They just go through the motions and do the best they can, and they work hard and they try hard, and they don't understand why. It's because they're missing that one extra element of fight that you only get in competitive bouting and tournaments. So on Friday nights at 7 p.m. from 7 to 9 in the Pushi Center, we're going to have 2 hours of open bouting where anybody can come and fence, including the staff, including people from other clubs. We've invited some, but I don't know if they will come, because I think here fencing clubs are very defensive about retaining their own, they fence with each other, but hopefully there'll be a few who will bring their students, and our kids and their kids can fence different people. And just because they're different, you fence a little harder, you fence a little differently, and that raises the level of practice. Hopefully will raise their level of competition. I'm really looking forward to our first session, which will be March 4th. Probably my next video will be after that, and I can let you know how that went. I'm expecting a kind of a small turnout because it's new. Even from our own members, some of them are young, but I wanted to do it on a Friday night or a weekend where there's no school the next day. Our weekends are very busy, so it's difficult to schedule it on a weekend, but on Friday night, I think we can get it in, and they don't have to worry about waking up for school the next day. So that I'm really looking forward to, and it's been a long time since I've looked forward to anything here, so I'm very happy to have something to look forward to, and trying to get out more, trying to take chance. Oh, I'm starting to eat fresh fruit here, which is a new thing, like grapes. I'll eat, bananas and oranges and things like that, but things that are exposed to the water here, grapes, and I've been fine. It's been not a big deal, so my fear was not substantiated. I can go ahead and eat most of the things that I see out there, including probably some vegetables, but cooking here is just not that big a deal. I mean, the older people always cook, and the younger people always eat out, and I'm kind of in between. So I cook sometimes, but most of the time I go out and eat out, or I take away, I bring it home. Um, so I'm being a little more adventurous, a little more confident with where I am and what I'm doing, and trying more things. I went into a pho place, which I'm not really that hot on, but I saw it and I thought, I'm going to go give it a shot. And the Vietnamese place, people are people in the hospitality restaurant business are super nice, especially the small shops. They don't know I'm a foreigner, and as soon as they find out that they're very accommodating. Um, Maybe it's because they think all foreigners are wealthy. Well, maybe most of them are, but not all of them are. But I'm starting to enjoy Shanghai life now, and it took a bit of getting used to. It's still some things I need to get used to, but I'm getting a better handle on it, and I'm looking forward to things now and going out and trying things, being more courageous because some things just scared the hell out of me. But there are still some things that bother me, and the coughing and the sneezing and spitting and things like that. I literally, when I hear something going, I just hold my breath and walk past them. Don't make eye contact. Don't inhale any airspace around them. Just keep going. And I don't know if you saw my post on Facebook, but a little child was in her mother's arms, and she reached out to me and asked me to come. So I went going and say hi. When I said hi, she sneezed into my open mouth. Hi. I was, I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of said, okay, bye bye. And I walked away and ran home and brushed my teeth. Anyway, I think the kids learn early, but what are you going to do? You're in Shanghai. You just have to kind of be ready for it. Toughens up your immune system, if nothing else. The smells, germs, people just live with it. It's not as bad as it sounds. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on Friday after our open bouting session. Let you know how that goes. Talk to you soon.